Hello everybody, it's going to be a few days and hours of excitement for those of you that like the transfer window. But let me tell you the latest on Aubameyang. As Sky Sports News has been reporting, Arsenal are getting close to the figure that will make Borussia Dortmund happier. Now they started asking for 75 million euros, but everybody knows that they will accept between 60 and 65 million euros, and Arsenal are willing to approach that figure. Things you need to know: Aubameyang and Arsenal had agreed personal terms, so that part is sorted, and the player, as you all know, is desperate to go to London and has told Borussia Dortmund that. So if you think that Giroud is part of the deal, you should know that actually what Arsenal want to do is separate Giroud from this deal, because they would like to take 28 to 30 million pounds from Giroud, and there are more people interested than Borussia Dortmund, and he will go to the one that pay more. So if Borussia Dortmund want to value him at that price, then they'll take him, but otherwise if anybody reaches that figure, 28-30 million pounds, he'll go to that other club. That's the plan, of course. No offer has reached that figure yet, so Giroud will continue at the moment at Arsenal, but it's separate from the Aubameyang deal, the one a valuation of 28 to 30 million pounds. So that's on Aubameyang, but there is more going on, of course. For instance, Guaita, the goalkeeper of Getafe, as you know, he's got his agreed terms with Crystal Palace, because his contract finished at the end of the season, to join Crystal Palace at the end of the season. So with that in hand, Crystal Palace wants to pay, started offering 4 million euros before they reached the personal agreement with Guaita. Getafe said no to it, because out of those 4 million they only take 1 million. But what's interesting now is that Crystal Palace, now that they have the agreement with the player, they can wait for him in the summer, so they're going to Getafe and offered less than 4 million euros, which means that Getafe will even get less than 1 million that corresponds from those four. The rest of those 4 million, that was a personal agreement reached between Guaita and Getafe, that was distributed between 1 million to Getafe, and then the other 3 will be shared between the agents and Guaita himself. So now Palace think that, knowing that Guaita wants to go to Palace now, they've gone to Getafe and offered less than those 4 million. Let's see what Getafe does to that. What else? Gaitan, the winger of Atletico Madrid. They want to get rid of him, either on loan or if somebody wants to buy him. And Atletico Madrid and Swansea have reached an agreement for the player, but the player is saying, I'm not going to Swansea. So despite the fact that those two clubs had reached an agreement, at the moment Gaitan is saying, I'm not going to Swansea. And finally, Deulofeu has been approached by 4 clubs, and one of them is Watford. But Watford has not made an official offer for him. They are interested in him. They wanted to see what his situation was, and that's all it is at the moment. 2 of those offers are from Italy. It seems to be more interesting to Deulofeu, a player that when he was was developing at Barcelona, I remember talking to Fernando Hierro, who said, you know, he's going to be a top player, one of the top players in Spain, but talent is not everything. Mentality and mental strength is absolutely everything, and I think he's been struggling with that. Certainly this season started strongly. He felt lack of confidence, perhaps from the teammates, perhaps from the coaching staff, whatever it was. He started to flopping really, and Barcelona are happy to let him go on loan or even sell him to a club. And as I said, there are clubs in Italy, Napoli being one of them, that are interested in taking him. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not very impressed with the background, are you? Just half-dead plans. But that's what happens when it doesn't rain a lot. I'm in Girona at the moment. So anyway, I'll talk to you later if I hear any more. Bye.